All right, we're doing a quick live hit here. Today, we're going to talk about signs that somebody might be struggling with addiction. This could be an adult in your life, this could be a teenage child. We posted some stuff on my Facebook page on this. We've also got some in the recovery and addiction help group. You can find all that on my page on Facebook. Um, Signs you're somebody may be struggling with addiction. I got my little cheat sheet up here. Behavioral changes. Behavioral changes. So they're saying mood swings, irritability, withdrawal from family and friends, um, loss of interest in hobbies or activities. If you have a friend who always does something or not doing something, sometimes when people are depressed, they isolate. Sometimes when people are running into an addiction problem, they isolate. Sometimes when people are depressed and they're isolating, they self medicate, and that leads to addiction problems as well. So that's one of your warning signs to be watching out for. Secretive actions. Is that person not telling you where they're going? Is your husband, wife, son, daughter hiding their cell phone activity from you, hiding their whereabouts from you, irritable if you ask them where they're going or where they've come from, acting annoyed? Um, you can be overbearing, and certainly some people can ask for too much detail, but particularly if this has changed, if a person has not been secretive in the past, that a lot of times that's what they do in order to hide the addiction. Also, if they're drinking or using drugs, they may be waiting for the immediate effects, the immediate visible effects to wear off to make the addiction less obvious. Okay. Physical and academic signs, right? Well, academic or work signs. Are they missing work? Are they doing poorly in school? Are they skipping classes? Are they not showing up where friends expect them to be? Um, general degradation in performance. Same with physical. If you have a friend who's a great basketball player and you play regularly with them and they start showing up and their conditioning's off and they're not showing, maybe they're not showing up as often, but when they do, you can tell. It's not a health problem, right? It could be an undisclosed health problem. These are just signs. It doesn't mean somebody is in full blown addiction. It doesn't mean they have an addiction, but the things you're going to watch for. So if you know someone's had a history of addiction and they're in recovery, obviously these signs could be even more concerning. But the reality is a lot of times they go unremarked because we just assume, well, I thought he was just sad, or I thought he was busy, and we're not really cueing. So this is in the situation where we're paying close attention to our friend, our family member, etc., and we're trying to get a feel for what's going on. Um, Possession of paraphernalia. Okay. Yeah, I'm just holding this crack pipe for a friend is actually something people say. With a teenager, it could be marijuana paraphernalia, it could be other smoking devices, vapes, things that suggest they're doing things that you don't know about or don't approve of, and they're not allowed to do. And these days, the vapes move easily over into THC and those sorts of drugs. Financial red flags. If a person seems to be running out of money, if you've given your kid money for gasoline and food and they never seem to have cash, you want to be checking up on what they're actually spending the money on. So, if you're giving your kid $100 for gas and lunches and they're coming back to you too soon for more money, some itemization might be a good idea. In fact, that's where using things like a debit card are far superior to cash because you can get a better sense. Also, if we're talking about teenagers again, you can put on the phone. Remember, every kid loves their phone. You can put on that phone like Life 360 or a similar app, or Apple, Samsung Connect, where you can follow the person around. I use Life 360 with my son. We love it. I don't think he's always thrilled with it, but now, for instance, he can actually look and say, "Oh yeah, my dad is on his way to pick me up from jujitsu," instead of just hoping that I'm almost there, right? Because I'm 2 minutes late. Um, in the old days, he didn't want me there when he worked out. Now, of course, they get a little older, they want you to see what they're doing. So I try to get there well before it ends so I can watch the last 15 minutes and, sort of cheer him on. Little parenthetical side note there. How do you handle it when you think that your kid or your family member or your friend has an addiction? Stay calm. First of all, you might not be right. If you wanna broach it with them, you wanna ask open-ended questions like, "Hey, I noticed some changes. What's going on?" Don't be accusatory. That will automatically shut them down. And if they don't answer you the first time completely and fully honestly of everything you suspect, and maybe you have some more information, know that incremental disclosure is very normal for all people. Criminal defendants are famous for incremental disclosures. Um, People in their marriage, when they've spent too much money and they don't want to tell their spouse, well, honey, I bought a gun. Well, actually, it was a gun, a trailer, and a boat. The comes out in increments. Okay, that's very normal incremental disclosures. You want to educate yourself. Try to figure out if you know what they're doing and you want to know more about it. Look into what it is and what it could be. Read up on the internet. We've got, again, like recovery and addiction help group. You can ask recovery experts in there, people who've lived life experience, either helping friends and family members or themselves through long term addiction battles. I find when people post in there, we get great results. Seek professional help, especially if it's a child, or an immediate family member. But with a child, especially where you have some level of control, you may be able to involve a counselor, a psychologist, or a psychiatrist, even against the will of the child, right? It's not ideal, but as a parent, you have a little more say in that. If it's your friend or your spouse, it's a much different dance to get them into professional help. And frankly, getting an adult into professional help who doesn't want professional help is usually not the most productive way to spend your time. Because if you're combating them into that, again, you're not being the supportive recovery friend that you want to be. You're becoming an aggressor. And that, again, gives them an excuse to pull the ripcord and shut you down. So, just a few thoughts. Check the Facebook page for more updates. Stop by. We got lots of good long form content going up. And of course, we're going to be doing more of these videos. And anybody who has a story, a recovery story, a recovery professional who wants to talk, just hit me up with a direct message. We're going to start scheduling some recordings. We'll do some pre-recorded shows. If you're game, we'll do some live shows. We're going to do some more question and answer shows where we'll be able to do your questions in real time. So we're just building a tech stack and we're getting there. All right, guys, thanks.